Are you stuck in a rut? Then you need this. It's the number one thing that will create more satisfaction for you as a business owner. And today, I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do if you're feeling like you're stuck in a rut. The number one thing that will create more satisfaction for you as a business owner. So maybe you're feeling a little bit like you're doing the same thing. So it's Groundhog Day and you've had a lot of professional successes. Maybe you've had a lot of personal successes and you've become a little bit of an expert, maybe a little bit comfortable in where you are today. And maybe it's time to have a little bit of success in a new way. Years ago, I was at a point in my life where, and I'm telling you this story because this is the number one thing that maybe you need to create more satisfaction in your life. So years and years ago, I tore my ACL playing rugby. And so if you didn't know, I was a varsity rugby player. I've played soccer competitively my whole life as well. I've also played all the sports, basketball, volleyball, okay, maybe not all the sports, track and field. And I've done quite well at them. And I've always seen myself as a competitive athlete. No matter what I went in, I won awards, won MVP, and all this. And so I don't say this to be like, "Whoa, look at me, I'm so amazing." It's more so because that's the level I was at. And there was a lot of competition and a lot of pushing myself and striving in a way that felt so good as an athlete. And so maybe you can relate in another way, another area of your life where you were just like full on in doing that thing. And usually, when we're in that great energy, that resonance, that's what I talked about in the previous episode called Hell Yeah Energy. We're in that resonance, that flow. It's really good for us. And there might come a time when you're like, why am I not feeling that anymore? And so this is where I'm talking about. If you feel like you're stuck in a rut, you may be feeling a lack of the same things that you were having in the past. And so for me, what happened was I tore my ACL, which meant I could no longer play rugby as I was needing ACL reconstruction and surgery, like the surgery and then the rehab and all that. And then I got, at that time, it made me feel super depressed. And I was looking at all the things in my life and I was like, wow, check success here, check success here, check success here. I had all these successes professionally, but then I was like, why am I feeling off? Why am I feeling not happy, not satisfied in my life and about things? And I thought, wow, I don't even really have permission to complain because my life is amazing on paper. And so I was trying to like figure out what it was. And I was, I'm very achievement oriented, goal oriented, and I was doing all these things. Eventually, I hired a life coach. And I found in working with a life coach many, many different things. But one of the key pieces that I found was that I wasn't honoring all of my values. And one of my values, and I don't mean morals and ethics, I mean a value that things that we ourselves that we would like stand on a soapbox about, that if somebody dishonored them, we'd be pissed off. And so one of my values was challenge. And I had challenge in competitive sports. But in this new place I was in, this new season of being injured and not being able to not only play at a competitive level, not even being able to play at all. And being that at that point in my life, I had played for what, 25 years I had played soccer and played sports, and I only ever had like the 10 days off at Christmas time. So I'd always played sports and always played at a high level. It was really hard for me. And I'm not saying that you've given up something like big like that or that you have been injured or whatever, but there's potentially a part of you that is missing the value that I adore, which is challenge. So you may not be bored, right? You may feel bored, but you're not bored. You're not bored. You just need a good challenge. You need a new challenge. And so what I realized for myself is that I needed to create challenge in my life because I wasn't depressed. I just needed a new challenge. And the same thing potentially for you. When we are high achievers, when we have so much success, we're also in this place of striving and driving and wanting all of the things. And while I now see that satisfaction is more important, we should measure life according to our satisfaction and not measure life according to our success, honoring our values is such a huge piece. And that's not the one thing right now, but creating challenge for yourself is so important. Now, why challenge? Well, it gets you out of your comfort zone because a lot of times you are good at all the things you do and you know so much about everything that you do that you just, there's not enough spark there for you. When you have challenge, you're pushed out of your comfort zone. It has you grow and stretch, and you get to be in that growth mindset and be better and see, like, can I really do this? And so you're not an expert at this thing yet. So I did African drumming, and I'll tell you, I sucked at African drumming. It actually looks like super cool and super easy. It's not, and I was terrible, but I stuck with it and it humbled me. Ooh, it humbled me. And I was able to sit as the student, not as the teacher, because I'm sure you are so good at so many things. People come to you for information. They come to you for advice. They come to you for stories and inspiration. They come to you to mentor and help them, but you don't always get to sit in the student role, in that student seat, and feel stretched and feel poured into. And so taking on a challenge where you get to learn something new as well as put yourself out there into the world, depending on what it is. My next thing um, is going to be glass blowing, probably again, something I'm not going to be good at, and it's going to challenge me. And so again, if you feel stuck, if you feel bored, you're not bored. You just need a new challenge. You need a bold challenge, or you need a personal challenge. And so what this is going to do for you when you have this new thing, right? So you've been checking off the boxes in your career or in your business or whatever it is, and it might be time to branch out. And so I gave you a few ideas. Like one challenge I did in my business was 30 sample coaching sessions in 30 days. Like, could I do it? And that was a business goal and a business challenge. And then I shared with you African drumming, and that was more of a personal hobby challenge. But what I encourage you to do is to take a challenge that kind of blends the two, that will help you professionally, but also help you personally. And here's one that I had. And this was maybe, I don't know if it was back in 2016. I had the challenge of writing a book. And I'll tell you, I sat on it. I sat on it for a year and I did nothing with it until I agreed to provide 365, or this convention was going to buy 360 copies of my book for all the attendees. And problem is I hadn't written a book yet. And so at that very moment, I took on the challenge to get it done in such a short time frame. Now, I don't recommend doing this, but it's the thing that got me off my butt. And it wasn't just the challenge piece, it was the commitment, another great C word. So I took on the challenge and then I committed to it. And when I speak of challenge, you probably know challenges, like a challenge when there's a service or a product that doesn't go to a customer properly, or a challenge where your CRM is down, or a challenge when your kid won't put the shoes on, right? You've seen these challenges, and there's all these different challenges that you face, and they're fires that you have to put out, problems that you have to solve. But what about a challenge that just helps you to grow? A challenge that helps you to feel alive and puts you in resonance. And so when I had that challenge of the book, I'll tell you, the moment I was able to hold that book in my hand, cut open that box, and it was actually in the hotel room. In the hotel room is where I opened up that box the night before I spoke. Can you believe it? And so that moment I held that book, like I was on video doing the unboxing, which was incredible. And I think I might have teared up, or I was trying to be strong and not show my vulnerability, but it was such an incredible moment, a very different challenge that I was able to conquer. And so, have you thought of doing a book? Have you thought of being in a book? You have the opportunity to do it. And you have the opportunity to do it with not only me, but with a whole bunch of other amazing women, other high achievers, other women who are having great success in their life. And they're taking on this opportunity like a fresh, exciting challenge to be able to do it. The only thing is, it's not actually going to be a challenge because everything is going to be done for you. I am going to put the link into the comments. The doors close on that in just a couple of weeks. So I wanted to make sure that I came on here to tell you about it. I'm going to just grab the date. I think it is the 27th. Give me one moment. Here we go. September 27th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Doors are closing in a bonus sense. So on that day, that's the last chance to get a ROI strategy session. For me, it's a return on investment strategy session. You want that because in it, we are going to, you and me, one-on-one, we are going to really use that time to strategize around how you're going to not only be in this book, but how you're going to get a high return on the investment that you're going to make so that you can reach your personal and professional goals. Sound good? So let me give you a little idea about what this is about. I'm going to grab a copy. If you're listening to the podcast, I encourage you to click through the link that is in the show notes so that you can see what the books look like. So we've done success secrets. We also have confidence secrets, trailblazer secrets, and the next book, the next collaborative book is going to be leadership secrets. It's going to be a blue book. You'll be able to check it out on there. And you're going to do a spread in the book. So you can imagine like 2 pages, one side and then the other side, with a 400-word story, secrets on leadership, and your bio and some social links or some connection links so people can get a hold of you afterwards. There's so much more I want to say about this, but I'll kind of pause it there because the purpose of this podcast episode was to remind you that bringing in something fresh is going to stretch you a little bit, but it's also going to feel really exciting and new because when you've been doing what you've been doing for a while, you can get stuck in a rut and you can have achieved all the things on the success side, but this can be something new. And the joy of this is you will succeed. You will be published in February because you've got me as your mentor to take you through the process, to make it super simple by having a book writing strategy session so you know exactly what to write about, how to boomerang business back to you with this piece, how to title it, how to do the whole thing. Also, another bonus that we give is a mastermind day where you can ask your questions of me. You can get some support from the other authors, as well as read your piece to others so that they can give you feedback so you feel like solid about what you're submitting. We also have editors that will edit your piece so that you don't have to worry about it looking good, sounding good. It will. And then after that, it's like, well, now you have a book, and because we're going to do the whole publishing process for you. But at that point, it's like, now I have a book. What do I do? And so we give you author in a box. It is all the press releases, all the email copy. We do a launch party for you. We give you all the personalized, branded social media posts and videos and everything so that you can promote not only the book, but you in the book. So you get to celebrate, because I'll tell you, some parts of being stuck in a rut is not celebrating your successes. And that's so key for you having the motivation to keep going, because being successful can be tiring, right? So go to the link in the show notes or in the description. It's going to take you over. You're going to see all the options there. There's 2, there's silver, gold. It's going to really lay out very clearly all the things you get. And I would love to call you a co-author and be published in February of 2025. That'd be pretty amazing. I'll tell you, that's when you're not going to be bored and you're not going to feel like you're stuck in a rut because you're going to take on a challenge. Let me know, do you love challenge? Do you love that vibe of like bringing in something new into your life? You can reach out to Diane at dianerolston.com or connect with me on one of the major platforms. Make sure you subscribe, share with a friend, and until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.